should be able to hear me. Okay, looking here on the NQ, it is midweek. So Wednesday, we had some news, pretty much came in at zero on, what was it, PPI, core PPI. So pretty much a dud, nothing too crazy. I'm going to break down the chart on the NQ, and if there's any questions throughout the stream, please let me know in Discord, and we will break it down. But the story remains the same as it did last week. We are not in a market where you trade overnight action. The overnight action is just literally not even worth trading, and you know that by, as I mentioned this last night, an indicator that I'm using for kind of daily bullish bias on just one of the things that I use that isn't my indicator. It's just a free indicator on TradingView called BX Trender, and I just have the histogram, like the trader I follow on Instagram. I can't remember his name. But this is what I use, and pretty much, you know, it's what I use in terms of just on a high level point of view. It's not taking trades based on this, right? To some degree, it's just a bias in terms of when I want to trade, when I don't want to trade. And you can see, right, on the daily, this is where I'm referring to the daily being bullish, the daily not being bullish. Can we get some likes on this video? We're on 2 likes. Come on, guys, get those numbers up. Helps the algorithm. Yeah, in terms of, you know, knowing when to trade, right, this is just one small element on my trading arsenal, so to speak. And I did do a rundown on this yesterday evening, but I don't know if everyone was on stream. But to cut a long story short, right, you know, where do we want to be? Where do we want to be long, right? In the halfway backs, on the extensions. Where do we want to be sitting on hands when there's not much buying? You know. And again, this is just one small part of my trading, as you guys are all aware, and girls. And again, this is where we trade a high to high. Short-lived, but it traded, right? It traded. And you have literally, let's just draw this out. You have one kind of style of trading here. This was another style, but this was just basically accumulation. And then this is pretty much, you've had 1, 2, this is the 3rd extension. So you have extensions 1 and 2, so you have a halfway back and a high to high, 2 completions. So you have two trades, sorry, high to high. You have 2 trades there. Okay, so two setups, right? 2 daily setups. This is the 3rd one. So, you know, if we aren't going to have some profit taking here, and we still have an 8 yard up or down, so the trend is still up, but what I want to make it very clear to you all is that the BX trend, which is kind of like buying momentum, has turned, or has been red ever since last week. So if I pull up my, I don't know if I've got it up, if I've even got it open. If I pull up my dashboard here, you can see, I think you should be able to see this. Yeah, this is my dashboard for this month, right? Is it strange that if we just go back, if we coincide these 2 charts with the BX trender, right? Is it strange? Where am I? You know, if I coincide these here with the months of my calendar, March, which is March is actually pretty much here, right? But again, BX is green. Okay, April, BX is green. What month was this? May. I mean, I'm a pro trader, so I was still green in this. But my point being is, it's getting significantly harder to trade, right? June was obviously here, end of June. So I did actually make money even when the BX was red here. So again, this is, I'm not trying to say this is the end all be all. What I'm trying to show you is, it's getting significantly tighter and tighter and tighter, which means you're struggling much more to go higher or lower, because look where we are, right? Look how many extensions halfway back into a high to high that has completed its negative 62, right? You have to now go down into such smaller time frames to get these draws. And as I always say, you are having to lower your standards. And in my opinion, it's never a good thing to lower your standards in any area of your life, right? If you just have these two extensions on your charts, the halfway back, which if any of you don't know where this extension comes from, please go back, right? Please go back to see this, right? This is I made 150,000, probably even more. I don't even know. I haven't totaled it up, but regardless, like, and I left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table on this move. Hundreds of thousands, right? Hundreds of thousands, which is annoying, but this is absolute money. So if you've come to the room or you've come to trading and you've missed all of this move, you just have to lower your expectations, right? And you just have to look at these ranges that we are now trading on the daily and also the weekly. That is why I've got the weekly ATRs and the monthly ATRs. So you can see what magnitude we actually have left, right? For the week and for the month. These are so small in comparison to if we go back, you know, if we go back to, I don't know if it will calculate when we go back here, if it will calculate the ATRs, but cut a long story short, they are significantly higher. 892, 1,300 for the day. You go to today, we're going from 1,300 to 387. So like, align expectations with daily ATR and you will not be disappointed, right? So people messaging, not knowing like what to do or where price is going, again, align your expectations with the ATR and you will not be disappointed, right? If I'm not doing much, there is a massive, massive reason for that, right? Huge reason, okay? So these are the two most important draws that I have on my screen. And once this completed the 23, we did actually end up trading what was... I only really class these two as the most valid draws. Now, if I didn't have a trading room, I would literally just have these two draws on my screen and I wouldn't really trade anything else. But you have to try and find these, you have to try and find what is in play. And the only other sequences that I can see that are in play, and I did mention this yesterday, and we have come out of these draws, which is from the high from the 11th of June. These are all technical because they never broke the 62. So they are all technical, but you'll realize how aggressive these are. Again, traditional, fine, high to high, fine, same anchor, new high, fine. You go into like the fourth extension here, you bid 50, you bid long, twice. So you can see here, once, twice, BX is green, you complete the next day, and you turn pretty much within the next couple of days, you're red on the BX, right? Momentum's dying. Momentum's dying down. What can you do? You look for the next extension. We're in that extension. So what do you do here? You know, what do you do here if you're not long from 22,800s, right? Again, you have to lower your expectations, or you draw same anchor new high and you wait for a pullback. Now, there's two things you can do. You can keep that draw on, just like I will show you, right? But again, we're not at that level. So what can you do? You don't necessarily short just because you're not at a long level. That is not, you know, you don't short uptrends, right? But at the same time, you are at such large daily completions and the BX is red. So very, very tricky. Again, why I'm not trading much. Go down to the half an hour time frame and you follow the most recent draws that were in. Well, what happened yesterday? We traded a halfway back short, full negative 100 completion. Full negative 100 completion. Maybe this is the low before going up, potentially, right? But you have to be aware of the same anchor new low. And you're at that halfway back. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go full port short on this halfway back, but it's just not sexy, right? You're in a downtrend, and I don't short uptrends, so I won't participate on this to the short side. But and also, I guess magnitude on the day on the ETH is 23,172s, which is below RTH highs. So as I said yesterday, and as I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, RTH highs wants to be below the ETA range. So you've got magnitude to go to, right? You want to be buying in range, i.e. buying with the momentum, not buying before it and then getting stuck way before, i.e. we'll know more on the RTH open, but right now the high on the day is around 23,172s, which is below yesterday's open, bearish, and also below yesterday's high, obviously, bearish. So does this scream sexy longs? You know, right? So, and then again, I've also drawn the most aggressive extensions that I can see on my screen, and they are, and they have completed. So you've got if I just take this off for a second so you can see, this is that high to high on the daily. Okay, so you trade the 38, you haven't yet completed that 23. So that is above us. That's why I'm drawing here, right? So there is support down there at 22,880s. The only other draw that I had on my screen was from a couple of weeks ago, which is still valid. It is still valid. We have not broken this. We have not broken this draw, and that is from the half. You'll remember this level with the 3 a.m. anchor on the 24th of June. That has still not broken, and it has completed several draws. So you can see here we have completed those draws, and also we are now inside this extension here on the 38. Once, twice, 3 times. That completion is at 23,272s. I am just going to take these off for 1 second because I saw this morning. Yes. Yeah. So this is to me still the most important draw apart from the daily, and you have to have this on your screen. Go back to the go back to the 5 minute. There's RTH and ETH. I just want to make sure I got the exact level. So you traded a traditional. Yeah, so you traded a traditional into this extension here. Make sure I got the high. There we go. So it's the high of RTH, sorry. RTH 145 on the 23rd of June, right? That is the most important anchor in my opinion. Why? Again, right, you've completed, traded it once, traded it twice, completed yesterday. What happened on that completion? Traditional short into 4 completions. So maybe that's just a short-lived short that has completed. Yes, so this is the same indicator that I have. I just added on there the weekly and the monthly, which I'll explain shortly, or I'll explain on Discord. Yeah, so I mean, like you say, you've had a micro long completion and a micro short completion. So again, it's just so tricky to read right now, and I'm happy and I'm okay saying that as a professional. Like, it doesn't bother me to not be able to read price on a particular day or week. There's going to be weeks and months out of my career where I'm probably just on the sidelines, and that is okay in my opinion, right? I don't have to always have a bias, and some people don't like that, but I really don't know what to say, right? Sometimes there's going to be moments where you're unsure and there isn't anything that clean, and I think that's important when you have momentum to the downside or to the upside not there. Right? So if you want to just literally set this to 0 and just only get involved if we get above 0, I think you're going to probably do better than 80% of most traders, right? So if you aren't already aware of my potential indecision that I have on this market at the moment, I hope it's clear from this morning. But all I'm going to do today is look for something that is in play, and the only thing that I can really see that's obviously from this week is this 61, right? You've got to look below and fail, an under back over, and you've got potential completions into 22, 23, 320s. Gun to my head, that's where we go. I don't really like it because I've said the magnitude on the day is 23,172, so that's most likely not going to happen today. If that did happen today, which I would say it's not going to, that means you would be trading about 50% greater than your average true range, which isn't awful, but again, it's not as likely. So what I would prefer to see, as I said pretty much this whole week, is you would want the RTH high to be somewhere like here, and then you would want your magnitude on the day to be like here, right? Or even higher for that matter. And it's not always going to line up, but when it does, that's when you have much better, much cleaner setups, and that's where it's more just smoother, right? And you don't have to pay attention. There's not as many headaches in price, whereas this is just a nice 150 points, whereas this here up into the ATR on the day, or even this target here, this 250 points is going to be much harder to trade than this 150. Same setup, just a different kind of day, right? It's the same range. It's just a completely different structure in terms of where levels line up, right? And some people will never get that until it kind of clicks. And sometimes that will never happen, but sometimes it happens quicker than others. But it's very straightforward in the sense of, you're down at RTH lows, not really bullish. And I can't control where these levels form in terms of the high and low of the day. But all I do know is once they form with the ATRs and extensions and discount, then it's so clean. So I will leave you with that, and I will give you guys the premium access on Discord. For everyone that has the top tier membership, we'll go over live on Discord now, and hopefully we can get something. But again, expectations remain like 20%, so low. I'm not expecting a great deal. If this week is just capital preservation, I'm totally okay with that. And yeah, we will see what we can do. But a no trade day means you didn't lose, right? Capital preservation is as you get more of a professional and more greater capital, you don't really want to re-risking much. You want to try and hold on to as much as you can and only really take the setups that really make sense. And you'll only really do that when you get disgusted with yourself for just taking trades that you just shouldn't take. And I've been there, hence why I now try not to go there. So, but unless you've been there yourself, you probably are going to just keep doing the same stuff over and over and over again until you are truly disgusted with yourself and you actually do change. Even though I'm here on stream every day telling you what I think of the markets, it doesn't always translate, and everyone has their own mouth and their own finger, and I can't control exactly what they do. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful. We will see what we can do, and I will jump on Discord now.